What detail screams, "I'm in love with you"? Story 1. For a full college year, I waited for the train of a girl I really liked. I'd even let several trains pass just to be on her platform. After 3 long months, we started talking, and 6 months and we exchanged social media. It wasn't until 10 months later that we finally became friends and started hanging out at college. A whole year passed before we began late-night chats, staying up later each time. But nothing seemed to happen, so I decided to stop seeing and talking to her. To my surprise, a week later she called and suggested we meet up. I mentioned I had a party, and shockingly she begged to come as my +1. At the party, after a couple drinks, we hooked up and she stayed over. We've now been a couple for 2 years and are about to move in together. Story 2. I think I read this online years ago. In a group, after hearing a joke, people tend to look at those they care about most. They do it to gauge the reaction of the person who matters to them. I can confirm it works. It's not just for crushes. It applies to friendships too and helps clear up doubts. Story 3. Laughing exaggeratedly at all your jokes, saying your name a lot, staring into your eyes, commenting on every Facebook status, or liking every Instagram post. If she does all that, you've got her hooked. Story 4. I once saw the girl I liked from behind across the lobby. For some reason I rushed over and, trying to make a playful joke, gave her calf a light tap with my foot. What was meant to be a gentle nudge turned into a much harder kick. I ended up breaking her leg. Story 5. I've noticed an interesting behavior in myself, and I suspect I'm not alone. It's triggered only around one specific person. Normally I'm pretty shy and introverted, uncomfortable in social situations. But here's the weird part. When I'm attracted to someone, my behavior flips completely. I somehow manage to start and maintain conversations with them, not always gracefully. I speak a bit louder, try to sound more confident. I smile or laugh more often, contrasting my usual monotone with others. Overall, I become more playful and lively. The coolest part, I've seen the same pattern in my opposite type friends. I have charismatic, extroverted, full of life buddies, but when they like someone, they turn reserved, shy, and super careful with words. They seem scared of misspeaking, totally unlike their usual selves. Story 6. I always found ways to be near the person I liked. I remember once eating twice in one day just to sit beside her. A coworker I was really into invited me to lunch. She didn't know I'd already eaten. How could I say no? But one of the most memorable moments was when she asked to see my biomedical collection. I couldn't hide my excitement and obviously said yes. To some these might seem insignificant, but to me they were small victories that led to asking her out. And years later, marriage. Story 7. There are moments when you're dozing off and say things, then wonder, why did I say that? Here's a story about a girl I liked in high school. In theater class, she had this fun game. If I said something slightly offensive, she'd pretend to be hurt. It scared me. I worried I'd actually offended her. Plus, she knew I liked her, or so I thought. So one day, trying to compliment her, I said, "You're really good at that thing you do, you know, faking it." She blushed and whispered, "Have you already figured out I'm into you?" I panicked. "Oh no, I didn't mean that, I meant acting." "Yeah, acting." Note, we both aspired to be actors. In short, I forgot the word acting in front of my crush, and she ended up confessing she liked me. Story 8. There was a girl at a cafe who had feelings for me. Whenever I was about to leave, she'd playfully insist, "Come on, stay a bit longer. I'll treat you to nachos." Who could refuse? Using her employee discount, she'd make a huge plate, and we'd sit and share it. Clarification: no fairy tale ending, but a happy one. We weren't meant to be a couple, but we positively influenced each other's lives. I gave her the help she needed. She taught me the power of truly listening and caring. Together we changed our lives for the better, and I still hold her dear. Story 9. Very often, a series of subtle gestures reveals mutual attraction. It can be constant eye contact, or not. What usually stands out is a constant smile and sometimes a slightly flushed face, clear signs of contained excitement. In conversation, people seek common ground or suggest shared interests. There might even be light, almost casual touch. Imagine chatting when the other person glances at your arm, gently lifts your sleeve, and says, "Is that a tattoo? I have one in the exact same spot." In most cases, you just know something's happening. You can feel it. You see it in their eyes when they talk to someone they like. To remove doubt, compare their facial expressions with you versus others. Story 10. I won't deny it. I've always been clueless about these hints. In high school, alone with a girl, she confessed she wasn't wearing underwear. "Not getting it," I said. "Must feel nice and cool in that dress." Another time someone directly asked if I was single and my thoughts on relationships. And as usual, I launched into philosophy instead of catching the hint. Story 11. If they play with their hair, stare at you for a while, bite their lip, and enthusiastically agree with everything you say, the attraction signs are undeniable. I used to think these were for later relationship stages, but they actually happen when a woman first shows interest in the early months, like a feeler. Once they're sure you won't bolt, the signals fade. Story 12. Big smiles and expectant looks, or a quick glance when they think you're not watching, then a smile when you notice. They greet you, smile, and sometimes go out of their way to cross your path. But when your eyes finally meet, it's like they're longing for you with their whole being. Story 13. Trashing their current partner, sharing highly suggestive content, showing up where they know you'll be, replying to nearly all your Instagram stories, or inventing excuses to talk. Story 14. Picture this. At 2 a.m. you search the person you like on Twitter, but tired, you accidentally hit follow. You just wanted to check if they were single, too shy to ask out but curious. Story 15. They say when girls touch or fix their hair, it means they're interested. Some claim a joke followed by grabbing your arm while laughing is a clear sign. But I'm not so sure. I have friends who constantly play with their hair no matter who they're with. Story 16. If you start seeing someone around more often than usual, it's a sign they're subconsciously seeking you out. I'm always hovering near the guy I like, passing him hundreds of times between classes. I can't help it. Story 17. I knew I was in love with my partner when I started prioritizing their messages over everyone else's. We met online, and truthfully I'm the type who takes 2 to 3 business days to reply. But the second their name popped up, joy flooded me. I'd respond instantly. She was stunning, way out of my league, calling me cute. Her friend confirmed she really liked me and she nodded yes. In hindsight, I should have acted, but shyness won. Story 18. I could tell a former coworker had feelings for me from the huge increase in attention. Everyone at the office was friendly, but she was extra affectionate, always bringing me snacks. Gradually, she gave small gifts and even reminded me when to take breaks, though I knew. The moment she trusted me with her laptop to take home for a few days, so I could learn it and teach her later, confirmed she trusted me deeply. Her interest in what I'd really want for Christmas was another sign she cared about my feelings and thoughts. Story 19. In an unexpected twist, a girl I know started interacting more, sharing jokes, chatting often, being more open. Every time we hung out, she posted us on Snapchat. Out of nowhere, she showed interest in motorcycles, my big passion, though it never seemed to matter before. I couldn't help thinking I was special to her. But when I brought it up, she got annoyed and flatly denied liking me. I felt like a total idiot. See why guys are so bad at telling hints from friendliness? Girls like that throw us off. Story 20. Almost 6 years later, I still bring her breakfast in bed whenever I can. Real reason, she gets super playful, and I wake her with a fresh chocolate eclair and some sweets. Story 21. If I stare at your mouth while you talk, it's usually because I'm fantasizing about kissing you. I don't normally look at people's mouths, but when I do, that's why. Story 22. She tells you things about herself unprompted, especially likes and dislikes. I love ice cream. I'm obsessed with Studio Ghibli movies, etc. Story 23. For me, it's watching you when you don't notice, staying quiet, not showing too much interest. Attraction comes from indifference, ignoring, unless you start the chat because you want to. But when the person you like takes the initiative, best not to seem too eager. Story 24. I once read, in a group, when someone tells a joke and everyone laughs, people instinctively look at the person they want to impress. If that's you, they probably feel something special. I tested it myself. In my friend group, whenever I told a joke, the girl I liked, and suspected liked me back, would hold eye contact a couple seconds longer after the laughter died. Story 25. Am I a psychopath for knowing how to make people feel loved while winning their affection? It's simple. I give genuine sounding compliments, eyes, laugh, hair, shoulders, etc. If I show interest, I notice small changes, new haircut, makeup, clothes, shoes, and mention it. Then I share intimate details about myself so they feel they really know me, a fear, favorite childhood memory, etc. While encouraging them to talk about themselves. Most people love it. In conversations, I'm charming but not over the top, pleasant yet deep. Even if I'm bored, I rephrase what they said to show I'm listening, sometimes pretending a similar experience. I also add endearing flaws, like being a bit clumsy or slow to react. When overwhelmed, I casually mirror their stance or hand movements, something that automatically makes people find me more attractive.